Ilham Aliyev is president of Azerbaijan and commander-in-chief of an army that for 16 years has been on the brink of war. The southern Caucasus country has been locked in conflict with Armenia since the region of Nagorno-Karabakh declared its independence from Azerbaijan in 1993. Aliyev's country is also of significant strategic interest to Europe, as it sits on an estimated 5 trillion cubic meters of natural gas. But its economic and democratic prospects depend on a resolution of the Nagorno-Karabakh dispute. Is there a peaceful way out of this frozen conflict? Euronews went to Baku to ask President Aliyev.
President Aliyev, welcome on Euronews, and thank you for receiving us here. Nagorno-Karabakh first of all. How do you evaluate the chances of a peaceful resolution of the conflict?
We have hopes about that, because the process, which is continuing for many years, as you mentioned, must lead to a peaceful resolution. But of course it will depend on the willingness of Armenia to comply with international law norms, to withdraw its troops from the internationally recognized territory of Azerbaijan, and then the peace will be established.
So you're rather optimistic, if I understand correctly.
I can tell you that the proposals of the mediators are based on restoration of the territorial integrity of Azerbaijan, are based on the withdrawal of Armenian troops from all the occupied territories beyond the administrative borders of Nagorno-Karabakh, the return of internally displaced Azerbaijanis to that land, and opening of all communications.
But you've been quoted sometimes as saying that if Armenian side did not withdraw its troops from the 7 occupied territories from Azerbaijan and return this land, then Azerbaijan would take these provinces back through a military offensive. Do you maintain this position?
This is fundamental right of Azerbaijan, as I mentioned before, given to us by international organizations, including United Nations. We cannot afford the conflict to be in such a frozen situation for another 15 years. Or
it has already been frozen for 16.
Of course. So there should be put an end to that. We want to put an end to that by peaceful means, and we are working on that, but at the same time, our patience also has limits. I hope that what has been agreed basically before and what we are planning to agree during 2010 will put an end to this conflict and the peace will come to the Caucasus.
Nagorno-Karabakh's final status. Is there room for any concession in this respect?
Azerbaijan will never agree to independence of Nagorno-Karabakh or to any kind of a mechanism or procedure which will eventually lead to secession. Interim status for Nagorno-Karabakh can be one of the solutions. We live together. Armenians lived here, Azerbaijanis lived in Armenia, so there was no problem in the past. So reconciliation must happen. And after that, people, of course, will communicate and we will see what could be the final status of Nagorno-Karabakh.
Even though it's premature to anticipate a deal between Turkey and Armenia, how do you perceive the impact of a possible Turkish-Armenian reconciliation on the resolution of the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict? Is it an opportunity or a threat?
We are concerned that if it happens, regardless any progress on Nagorno-Karabakh, the Nagorno-Karabakh peaceful prospects for settlement will be very weak. And what then? To our mind, it will lead only to more difficulties in the region. Therefore, I think that now it's a maybe unique opportunity when we have already the Turkish-Armenian process in progress, and at the same time we came to the final stage of the negotiations between Armenia and Azerbaijan to combine the energy of these two processes so that no country in the region could consider itself abandoned, could consider that its national interests are ignored, and if it happens, then tensions are unavoidable.
Your country established the first democratic republic in the Muslim world before being forcibly incorporated into the Soviet Union. What do you think about those who say that you run your country like a post-Soviet dictatorship?
These kind of expressions, they are insulting to us. Sometimes we become a subject for very unjustified and very biased critical attacks in international media, in so-called international human rights group. These attempts always to present Azerbaijan as undemocratic are absolutely unacceptable. We understand that Azerbaijan's importance is growing. The attempts to influence Azerbaijan are growing from various parts of the world.
What about those who say that opposition in Azerbaijan doesn't stand a fair chance and that a lot of your opponents have been silenced?
Well, it's up to the people to decide. If opposition in Azerbaijan is weak, it's not our fault. And I can tell you why opposition is now in a very disastrous situation. People of Azerbaijan are living better and better. During the crisis year of 2009, our economy grew 9.3%, industry 8.6%, inflation 1.5%, hard currency reserves are $20.4 billion. In these circumstances, what opposition can deliver? Only criticize? Well, they're doing it on a daily basis. We do not object.
But in March 2009, there's been a referendum and there has been a change in the constitution which abolished presidential term limits. Do you want to remain in office indefinitely?
Well, that was not made for kind of personal reasons. This practice exists in many countries.
Not in democratic ones.
Well, it depends. If you have a king, which is a nominal head of state, and a prime minister which can be elected 5 times, it's not different from what we have here. If you look at the European countries, you will see.
You don't consider yourself a king, do you?
No. I consider myself as a head of the executive branch, which is, in the cases of your countries, a prime minister, which can be elected many times. So why people should be deprived from this right? If they have a choice, if they have a chance to choose, they can choose whomever they want. And the democratic process in Azerbaijan is very active. We do not interfere in the internal issues of your countries. So there are a lot of things which we can not like, we can oppose, and we can consider to be ridiculous. But we never tell that.
For instance?
That's because we never tell that. We behave in a very delicate manner. Internal issue of the country, its traditions, its history, its political system, its attitude to its national leaders must be left for the people of this country to decide.
Of course, if
somebody wants to use this factor in order to achieve something here, we will not allow.
President Aliyev, thank you for this interview.
Thank you.